Do you think that it's a problem to bring in a species of plant that's not native?
It's a tough topic to talk about because it's a very loaded topic, native species. We've done like irreversible damage to the ecological happenings of the LA metropolitan area. And native species are species that evolved to live here without supplemental irrigation, and they provide habitat to pollinators and to animals. And so these are species that were always meant to be here. And we've screwed that up, essentially our presence. But it gets complicated because I would also argue that the manipulation of horticulture is inseparable from human civilization, in that basically we created our societies so that we could farm. And in doing that, we've also always essentially gardens from the dawn of human civilization as well. So my kind of like philosophical approach to native species is that we use them in basically every project that we do. Some projects they'll represent 100% of the species we use. Some projects it'll be 50%. Some projects it'll be 30%. But I think it's deeply important, and it's something that's fundamentally like important to like Terremoto as an office to kind of promote local ecology. That said, it's also a very polemical world because the native plant community has a tendency to tell everybody else what they're doing is wrong.
Sure.
And I don't believe that is a way of winning over the hearts and minds of the greater populace. So I would rather build native-focused and native-heavy projects while not necessarily always being explicitly native species, but incorporating natives into every project we do as a way of kind of like winning people over. Because also, like my mother, for example, has like a lot of negative connotations with native species because at this time of year, for example, a native garden looks pretty beat up. Or one could argue. I actually find that beauty, like when things are kind of scraggy and it's like early fall, I find that very beautiful. But a lot of people who don't understand, a lot of people have different notions of beauty that are still tied up in like these post-war kind of things.
Sure, the picturesque.
Yeah,
perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect
Things should be green all the
green.
time and that.
Yeah.
So I think what a lot of our work is trying to do is kind of like softly push things in the direction of more native ecology. And I think as it continues to grow and people come to understand it, and to be honest, what needs to happen is notions of beauty need to change.